What if the very reason he hasn't chosen you is because you haven't fully chosen yourself yet? That's the question no one wants to ask, but it's the one that changes everything. You see, many women spend their days wondering when love will come, when the right one will see them, when he will finally treat them right, love them deeply, choose them fully. But here's a truth you might not want to hear. He can't see the queen in you if you haven't seen her first. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." And in love, that means your power is not in how he sees you. It's in how you see you. When you live in a space of longing, of waiting, of questioning why he hasn't come or why he left, you build a story around lack. And that energy, that silence, it echoes louder than any words. A man feels it. He may not say it out loud, but he senses it. Think of a rose. A rose never begs the bee to notice it. It just blooms. It stands tall, bright, fragrant, unapologetically beautiful. And because of that, it attracts, not by force, not by chase, but by presence. The same goes for you. When you stop asking, "Why not me?" and start living as "This is me," you stop chasing love and start drawing it to you without a word. Now, let's talk about the woman who's still healing, the one who gave her all and was left with questions, the one who's tired of watching him choose someone else. If that's you, listen closely. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. But your focus, it has to shift from watching who he chooses to becoming the kind of woman you choose every single day. That's the start. That's the shift. That's when you begin to rise. Because once you stop begging to be noticed, once you stop waiting for him to validate your worth, a powerful change begins. You stop living like an option and start living like royalty. And that, right there, is the moment the word queen becomes more than just a compliment. It becomes your truth. This is not about chasing a man. This is about becoming a woman no man would dare to lose. And queens, your time starts now. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of your worth, your power, your beauty, then take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you messages that heal, inspire, and remind you of the queen you truly are. You're not alone on this journey, and every word we share is made with you in mind. Number 1. He can't see what you don't show, and I'm not talking about your looks. Have you ever asked yourself why he didn't see your worth? Why he didn't stay? Why he chose her instead of choosing you? Here's the truth most won't tell you. He couldn't see what you weren't showing. And no, I'm not talking about your looks. This isn't about how perfect your makeup was or how pretty your dress looked. This is about energy, presence, power. If you don't see your own value, he won't either. A woman can be stunning, intelligent, loyal, and still overlooked if she doesn't walk like she knows what she brings to the table. Because the way you carry yourself teaches him how to treat you. You can't wait for him to recognize your magic if you keep hiding it under self-doubt and fear. You can't whisper your value and expect him to hear it over the noise of the world. The way you speak about yourself is the energy you carry into every room, and that includes the space between you and him. If you walk in expecting less, he'll give you less. If you move like you're unsure, he'll treat you like you're replaceable. You become unforgettable the moment you stop looking for approval and start living like you've already approved of yourself. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase ships. It just stands tall, shining through the storm. It doesn't need to beg to be seen. It commands attention simply by being what it is: a guide, a light, a force. That's who you're meant to be. But you've been dimming your light, waiting for him to come back, hoping he'll wake up, expecting him to finally see what he walked away from. But how can he see what you're too afraid to stand in? Now is the time to stop shrinking, stop questioning, start living like the woman who no longer waits to be chosen. Because when you finally stand in your power, when you stop hiding behind what you've been through and start walking like you know what you deserve, something shifts. You stop chasing, and he starts noticing. And that's when you become more than just a woman who was left behind. That's when you rise into the woman who lives like a queen, bold, full of purpose, and impossible to forget. So hear me now, beautiful lady. He can't see what you don't show. But the moment you show up in your full power, he won't be able to look away. Say this out loud and drop it in the comments, queens. I am not hiding. I am rising. Let that be the new standard. And if this message lit something inside you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you the truths, the healing, and the power you deserve, because your time has come. Number 2. If he can't handle your standards, he was never meant to sit at your table. Have you ever wondered why he pulled away the moment you started expecting more? Why he disappeared the second you set a boundary, asked for consistency, or simply raised your standards? Here's the truth that hurts, but also frees. If he can't rise to meet your expectations, he was never meant to sit at your table. Love should never feel like begging for crumbs when you're offering a feast. You weren't asking for too much. You were asking the wrong man. And when a man sees a woman who knows her value, he either steps up or steps out. Let him. Because the table you've set is not for those who fear real connection, real effort, real love. Don't shrink yourself to fit into someone's shallow world. That's the kind of reminder you need to keep close. Your standards are not walls to push people away. They are the doors through which the right one walks in. If he walks out because of your standards, then he wasn't ready to be part of your world. He was only passing by, looking for comfort, not commitment. Think of a 5-star restaurant. It doesn't beg for customers. It doesn't lower its prices for those who can't afford the experience. It sets the standard and trusts that those who understand the value will show up and show respect. The same goes for you. You are not meant to convince him why you deserve love, time, or loyalty. You are meant to live in a way that shows him this is what love should look like. And now, beautiful woman, it's time to stop lowering yourself just to be chosen. The one who is meant for you will not ask you to dim your light. He will not get scared when you speak up. He will not run when you require more than bare minimum energy. If he cannot handle the woman you are becoming, he is not your loss. He is simply not ready for royalty. You don't adjust the crown to make him stay. You straighten it and keep walking. Say this out loud and write it in the comments, queens. If he can't match my standard, he doesn't deserve my presence. Let that be your truth, your reminder, your new rule. We are here, building a space for women like you to rise, to reign, and to never settle again. Number 3. The way he treated you wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of what he couldn't handle. Why did he pull away right when you gave your all? Why did he act like your love was too much, too intense, too heavy, when all you were doing was showing up with real feelings, real energy and real care? Here's the truth, and it may hurt before it heals. The way he treated you was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of what he couldn't handle. Some men are not ready for depth. Some men are not built to hold the kind of love that doesn't just touch the surface. It sees the soul. You gave him something real, and he didn't know what to do with it. That's not because you were too much. It's because he was not enough. You don't drown by falling into the deep. You drown by refusing to swim, and he chose to stay shallow when you were offering the ocean. You were ready for something that required strength, honesty, presence. He wasn't, and that is not your failure. That is his. Think of a flame, bright, bold, and full of warmth. That was you. But instead of warming his hands with care, he backed away like it might burn him. Not because you were dangerous, but because he never learned how to handle fire that wasn't meant to be played with. You were never too much. You were just too real for a man used to pretending. Now it's time to shift your thinking. You are not here to question your light because he chose to live in shadows. You are not here to water yourself down so he can feel comfortable in your presence. This heartbreak, it was never about you not being enough. It was about him not being built to rise with you. This is the moment, dear lady, where you begin to understand that his rejection was not proof of your weakness. It was proof of your strength. You were never meant to be kept small for the sake of his comfort. You were meant to be seen, honored, chosen by a man who is strong enough to handle a woman who brings fire and peace in the same breath. Write this in the comments, queens. His fear was not my fault. My love was just too real. We are working hard to create these life-changing lessons just for you, because you are not broken, you are rising, and it's your time to reign. Number 4. The silence he's getting now will haunt him more than anything you could ever say. Have you ever noticed how quiet can say more than any word ever could? The messages stop, the calls fade. He expects you to break the silence. He thinks you'll come running back, asking, explaining, proving your worth one more time. But this time, you said nothing. And that silence, it's not weakness, it's power. It's the echo that keeps him up at night. He thought he had control when he left. He believed that if things didn't work out with her, he could always return to you, to that space where you once held the door open, hoping he'd choose you right. But what he didn't expect was this kind of silence. Not cold, not bitter, just done. And that is what shakes him to the core. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the harm." You're not yelling, you're not chasing, you're not trying to make him see what he lost. You're letting the silence speak for you, and it's saying everything. That silence is louder than every tear you never let fall in front of him, louder than every word you wanted to say but chose not to. Imagine a song that used to play every day, then one day it stops, not replaced, just gone. At first he doesn't notice, but then The quiet grows heavier. That's what your absence feels like the melody he took for granted is gone. And now, he's stuck with the noise that doesn't soothe him, the words that don't feel like home, the presence that isn't you. This is not about making him regret. This is about stepping into your stillness and realizing how powerful you truly are. A woman who doesn't need to explain. A woman who doesn't beg to be seen. A woman who understands her silence is not a pause. It's a period. The end of the chapter he didn't know would be his last. And that's when she rises. That's when she transforms. That's when she becomes more than just the woman he lost. She becomes the queen he can never reach again. Say this with your whole heart and drop it in the comments, queens. My silence speaks louder than my pain. And if this spoke to your soul, if it reminded you of who you really are, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you life-changing truths that help you rise into the woman you were always meant to be. Number 5. He doesn't complete you. He either compliments you or he's not meant to be there. Have you ever sat there, staring at the ceiling, thinking, maybe I just need the right man to feel whole? If you have, let's clear something up right now. He doesn't complete you. And if he doesn't add to the woman you already are, he's not meant to stay. You were not born half. You were not created with pieces missing, waiting for him to bring the other half. That's the lie love sometimes teaches. The fairy tales, the movies, the late-night cries into the pillow. But the truth, you're already whole. And if he walks into your life, he either adds peace, love, and strength, or he leaves. Because anything that drains your energy, confuses your mind, or makes you feel small, does not belong in the empire you're building. A strong woman doesn't look for a man to complete her. She looks for one who respects her completeness. And that's where the shift happens. Once you stop looking for someone to fix the loneliness and instead become someone who enjoys her own company, you start attracting from a different place. Power, not pain. Think of yourself as a masterpiece. Now imagine hanging that masterpiece in a broken frame. Would the frame ruin the art? Number, but it distracts from its beauty. You are that art. He is the frame. If he doesn't match your worth, your colors, your story, he will only dim what was already shining. You might still remember how he made you feel, how you tried to shrink to make space for him, how you questioned your smile, your words, your value, just to be accepted, but not anymore. This is where it changes. This is where you stop editing yourself to fit into a love that was never meant to carry your kind of depth. Because when the right one comes, he won't try to complete you. He'll admire the masterpiece and ask how he can protect it. This is the moment, lovely woman, when you stop chasing love and start becoming it. The moment you stop waiting to be saved and realize you were the light all along. You don't need to be chosen. You need to be respected, celebrated, and matched. That's what a queen demands. That's what a queen becomes. Say this to yourself, and queens, drop it in the comments right now. I am complete. He must rise to meet me. Number 6. He didn't reject you. He revealed that he was never ready for a woman like you. Have you ever sat there, wondering what you did wrong, wondering why he didn't choose you, why he walked away, why he couldn't love you the way you loved him? Let's get one thing clear. He didn't reject you. He revealed himself. He showed you that he was never ready for the kind of woman who stands in her truth, who loves without games, who gives her all and expects depth in return. And that, right there, is not your loss. It's your redirection. Sometimes it feels like heartbreak, but what it really is protection. Not because you weren't good enough, not because you weren't worthy, but because he didn't have the strength to meet a woman like you. You weren't too much. He was just too little for the love you carry. A man who fears depth will always run from the ocean. And beautiful lady, you are the ocean. Wide, powerful, unpredictable in the most beautiful way. He wanted something simple, something shallow, something that didn't require him to grow. So he ran. And that's not rejection, that's revelation. That's the universe making space for someone who can meet you where you are. Think of a house with glass walls. From far away, it looks perfect, shiny, polished, complete. But when a real storm comes, it shatters. Now think of you. You are built like stone, solid, rare, rooted. So when a man chooses the glass house over the fortress, it's not because the glass was better. It's because he wasn't ready to live somewhere real. He wasn't ready to build. He wasn't ready to rise. And now is when you remember who you are. You are not here to be chosen by someone who couldn't see your worth. You are here to rise as a woman who no longer begs for space in a heart that couldn't even hold her reflection. That's what living like a queen means. You reign, even when it hurts. You rise, even when it's hard. Queens, say this with me and write it in the comments. He didn't reject me. He revealed his limits, not mine. Let this be your reminder that your value was never up for debate. We are here, working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the powerful lessons you deserve. Because this time, you're not waiting, you're becoming. Number 7. You weren't too much. He was just too small to handle your light. Have you ever been told you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too opinionated, too passionate? Have you ever sat alone wondering if maybe you should tone yourself down, just so he could feel comfortable enough to stay? But what if I told you that the problem was never you? What if I told you that you weren't too much? He was just too small to handle your light. Some men don't leave because you lack something. Some leave because your presence exposes what they lack. He didn't walk away because you were too loud, too deep, too full of fire. He walked away because he couldn't stand next to your flame without feeling like a shadow. And instead of rising to match your energy, he ran from it. The sun never apologizes for shining too bright. The problem is never the sun. It's the eyes that weren't ready for the light. This isn't about fixing yourself to keep a man. This is about realizing that your power, your passion, your truth is not too much. It's rare, and rare things aren't for everyone. Think of a lightning storm. It's beautiful, raw, wild. It shakes the earth, splits the sky, demands attention. But some people only want the quiet. They only want the soft. They say they want a spark, but they can't handle the fire. That's him. He thought he could hold you until he realized your love didn't just glow, it struck. And maybe he made you feel like it was your fault. Maybe he left without warning, or made you believe you were difficult to love. But hear me clearly. A man who feels overwhelmed by your light is not your mirror. He is your reminder that you were never meant to shrink. This is your moment to stop dimming. This is where your story shifts. You are not too much. You are more than enough for a heart that is ready, steady, and unafraid of your flame. This is where you start living as more than just a woman waiting to be seen. This is where you rise as the queen you've always been becoming. Say this and write it in the comments, queens. My light is not too much. It's my power. And if this message reminded you of who you really are, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to give you truth, clarity, and the kind of lessons that set you free, because you were never meant to dim. You were meant to shine.